I think we've all been there. You decide you're going to make some massive change in your life.
Oh, yeah. New Year's resolutions.
Exactly. You're going to write a novel, finally run that marathon, or just completely get your finances in order. You start out so strong, right? You've got all this motivation.
Right, this huge surge of energy. But the thing is, that motivation, it's fleeting. It's like trying to power a ship with one big gust of wind.
And as soon as that wind dies down or, life gets in the way.
The whole thing just stalls.
Yeah.
And you're left feeling like you failed.
But the sources we've looked at today, which really get to the core of this idea of atomic habits, they argue it's not a failure of character, it's a failure of strategy.
Exactly. The problem isn't you, it's the approach. The real path to change isn't these huge, intense leaps. It's about building a smart, adaptable system.
A system built on incredibly tiny, consistent steps.
And that's why they're called atomic habits. They're small, but they're the fundamental building blocks. So our mission in this deep dive is to get into the physics of it all, the actionable steps that help you go from just thinking about change to actually reliably doing it.
And we're going to focus on this brilliant framework, the 4 laws of behavior change. Okay, let's unpack this. Before we even get to the laws, we have to talk about the philosophy behind it. I love this phrase from the source material. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
It's the perfect analogy because compound interest day to day feels boring. You don't see much happening.
Right.
But over time, the returns are just exponential. Big improvements don't come from these huge quantum leaps. They come from all these little habits building on each other.
And there's such a great evidence-based example of this, the idea of the aggregation of marginal gains.
Yeah, the 1% rule.
The British cycling team.
Yes. For 100 years, British cycling was, well, frankly, it was a joke. And then Coach Dave Brailsford comes in.
And he wasn't looking for one big fix.
Not at all. He was looking for hundreds of tiny 1% improvements.
And when you say tiny, you mean tiny.
I mean, it wasn't just about the bike's weight or the rider's diet. He brought in a surgeon to teach the athletes how to wash their hands properly.
Just to reduce the chance of getting a cold.
Exactly. A cold could set a rider back for a few days. So that's a 1% improvement. He had them test different massage gels, find the perfect pillow for each rider to optimize sleep.
And when you add up all those little 1% gains.
Total domination. We're talking 178 world championships, 66 Olympic and Paralympic gold medals over the next decade.
Yeah.
It's just, the proof is right there.
And the math behind it is just staggering. Getting 1% better each day for a year doesn't make you 365% better.
No, it makes you 37 times better.
Yeah.
The compound effect is just incredible.
This whole idea really pushes back against the traditional advice to just set big goals. Because if you think about it, in any competition, everyone has the same goal.
Right. Winners and losers have the exact same goal. So the goal itself can't be the thing that separates them.
So what is it?
It's the system, the process you follow. The goal is the destination, but the system is the vehicle that actually gets you there.
There's this quote from the material that really stuck with me. You do not rise to the level of your goals.
You fall to the level of your systems.
Yes, because when things get tough, when you're tired or stressed, you don't think about your big, lofty goal.
You default to your automatic process, your system.
So if my goal is to have a clean desktop on my computer, I can achieve that goal on a Saturday. I can spend hours cleaning it up.
And for a moment, you've succeeded.
But a week later, it's a mess again because I didn't change the system, the process for how I download and save files.
Exactly. The system addresses the cause. Cleaning the desk just treats a symptom. A good system automates the right choice so you don't even have to think about it.
Okay, so to build these systems, we have to understand how a habit actually works in the brain. It's not magic, it's a 4-step process.
The habit loop. You have to understand this loop to have any chance of reliably building good habits. The first step is the cue.
The cue is the trigger. It's the little signal that a reward is on its way, like your phone lighting up with a notification.
That's a perfect example. That's the cue.
Yeah.
And that immediately leads to step 2, the craving.
The urge, the motivation.
Exactly. You don't actually crave the notification dot. You crave the feeling of social connection or distraction that it promises. It's a desire to change your internal state.
Then comes the response, which is the actual habit. You pick up the phone, you click the app.
And this part is really sensitive to friction. If it's too hard to do, the habit just dies right there.
And finally, you get the reward. You see the funny video, you get the dopamine hit.
And that reward does 2 things. It satisfies the craving, and it teaches your brain Hey, that cue was worth paying attention to. Let's do this again.
Cue, craving, response, reward. Understanding that loop is the foundation for everything else.
It's the basis for the 4 laws of behavior change. To build a good habit, you just make each step better.
So for the cue, law 1 is make it obvious.
For the craving, law 2, make it attractive.
For the response, law 3, make it easy.
And for the reward, law 4, make it satisfying.
And to break a bad habit, you just flip them. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying.
It's so elegant, so simple.
Okay, let's get practical. Law 1, make it obvious. How do we create a really clear cue?
The best strategy, hands down, is something called habit stacking. You use an existing habit as the trigger for a new one.
So you're leveraging the momentum you already have.
Precisely. The formula is, after I do my current habit, I will do my new habit.
So, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute.
Perfect. Pouring coffee is the automatic trigger. You don't need to remember or rely on willpower. The cue is built right into your existing routine.
That's about timing. But what about the space you're in? Environment design.
Oh, it's huge. Your environment is like this invisible hand shaping your behavior. If you want to start running in the morning, make the cue impossible to miss.
Put your running shoes and clothes right next to your bed.
Or even in the bathroom, so you literally trip over them. You're designing your space to make the right choice, the obvious choice.
Okay, so the cue is obvious. Now we need the drive. Law 2, make it attractive. How do we engineer a craving for something we know we should do but don't really want to do?
The key strategy here is temptation bundling. You pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do.
Okay, so say I need to answer a bunch of boring emails.
And you love listening to your favorite podcast.
Right.
The rule is, you only get to listen to that podcast while you're processing those emails. The thing you want becomes the gateway to the thing you need.
The formula for that is a little different. After I do habit I need, I will get to do habit I want.
Yes. And another huge part of making things attractive is social. We are herd animals. We want to fit in.
So join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior.
Absolutely. If you want to learn to code, don't just do it alone. Join a coding boot camp or a local meetup group.
So it stops being this lonely struggle and starts being what the group does.
The desire to belong is an incredibly powerful motivator. It makes the hard thing attractive.
Okay, that leads us right into law 3. Make it easy. This one feels almost counterintuitive because we're taught to just push through and rely on willpower.
And that's just not how our brains are wired. We are designed to conserve energy. The path of least resistance will almost always win. Convenience is king.
So we have to separate what the sources call motion versus action.
Motion is planning, researching meditation techniques, shopping for running shoes. It feels like progress.
Like it's not.
It's not. Action is the thing that delivers the result. Action's doing 1 push-up, doing 1 minute of meditation.
So how do we make sure we get to action?
You prime the environment. You have to ruthlessly reduce the friction between you and the starting line of the habit.
So if I want to eat healthier,
don't just buy vegetables. Spend Sunday afternoon chopping them up and putting them in clear containers at eye level in the fridge.
you're removing the friction of, ugh, now I have to chop this carrot.
Exactly. And for bad habits, you do the opposite. You add friction. If you watch too much TV, don't just hide the remote.
Take the batteries out.
Unplug the TV after every use. Put your phone in another room when you need to focus. Each little step of friction you add makes it less likely you'll start the bad habit.
Okay, final law. Law 4. Make it satisfying. This feels like the trickiest one because the reward for good habits, like getting in shape, is often so delayed.
It is. Our brains are wired for immediate gratification. A donut today is more motivating than being healthy in 6 months. So we have to find a way to create an immediate reward.
The book uses that great example of hand washing. How do you make that satisfying?
You buy really nice smelling foamy soap. The pleasure of the experience itself, the scent, the texture, becomes the immediate reward that reinforces the habit.
What about something less sensory?
Then you can use accountability. You create a habit contract.
That sounds serious.
It is. You and a friend make a pact. If you skip your workout, you have to pay them $50. Or, even worse, you have to wear the jersey of their rival sports team all day.
Oh, that's brutal. The immediate pain of that consequence makes sticking to the habit satisfying in a weird, reverse way.
It works. But the simplest tool for this is just a habit tracker.
A calendar on the wall where you put a big X for every day you succeed.
Exactly. That little act of checking the box provides an immediate hit of satisfaction. Your goal shifts. It's not about running a 5K. It's just about don't break the chain.
Speaking of making things easy, we have to talk about the 2-minute rule. This feels like the ultimate cheat code for procrastinators.
It's maybe the most critical tool to get started. The rule is just, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
So if your goal is read more, the habit isn't read for 30 minutes every night.
No. The habit is read 1 page. If your goal is run a marathon, your new habit is put on my running shoes.
That's it.
That's it. You're creating what's called a gateway habit. You master the art of just showing up. The point isn't to do the whole thing perfectly. It's to make starting the ritual completely mindless and non-negotiable.
Because once you've put your shoes on, it's a lot easier to decide to actually go for a run.
Way easier. It's better to do less than you'd hoped than to do nothing at all.
So we have the process, the laws, but the deepest level of change the sources talk about isn't about process at all. It's about identity.
Right. There are 3 layers of change. You have outcomes, which are your results. You have process, which is your system. But the deepest layer is identity, your beliefs about yourself.
And the argument is that true, lasting change has to start with identity.
It has to. Because your habits are just a reflection of your current identity. To change your behavior for good, you have to start believing new things about yourself.
So every time you perform a tiny habit, it's like you're casting a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
That's the perfect way to put it. You don't try to become a writer. You prove to yourself that you are a writer by writing 1 sentence every day. Each action is a piece of evidence that reinforces your new identity.
It's a fundamental shift from I want this outcome to I am this type of person.
And that's what makes it stick.
So, to pull this all together, we've got the philosophy of tiny gains, the 4-step habit loop, and the 4 laws to design our systems. And the 2-minute rule to just get started. This is a really solid practical structure.
It really is. And the last thing to remember is that there's no finish line. The goal isn't to build the perfect system and then be done. It's to keep the upward trajectory going.
The sources talk about how even elite performers get bored. They bring up the Lakers coach, Pat Riley.
Right, his career best effort program. He asked every player to improve by just 1% over the course of a season. Even at the top of their game, there was always room for that marginal gain.
But the crucial part of that, and this is the final provocative thought for you to take away from this, Riley's program required regular review. And if your life is always changing, your job, your family, your goals, then the habits and beliefs that served you last year might actually be holding you back today.
So the final, most important habit isn't any single action. It's reflection. You have to build in a system to periodically check in with yourself, maybe once a quarter or once a month, and ask a simple question.
Are my habits and the identity they're building still serving the person I want to become next?
And if the answer is no, you don't panic. You just start the process of refinement all over again.